A crowd of spectators started to gather. They were used to seeing Hossein getting bullied. "How do you want me to compensate you?" said Hossein calmly, watching Liu Feng approaching him. "Let me kick your ass," Liu Feng said, throwing a punch at Hossein's face. Liu Feng's punch was fierce and fast. If Hossein was hit, his nose would be smashed. When everyone was thinking that he would suffer, Hossein leaned his body and dodged the punch. Meanwhile, he tripped Liu Feng with his leg and made him fall on his face. Liu Feng fell so hard that his nose was bleeding and his eyes were watering. Burning with anger, he drew his alpha alloy broadsword from the sheath and slashed it toward Hossein. "Little scum! How dare you resist? I'll kill you!" Ha Hao had mixed feelings watching this. Although he despised Hossein, Hossein was still his cousin. And Ha Hao felt terrible watching him being bullied and perhaps getting killed. But if he helped Hossein and people knew him to be the cousin of Ass Freak, how could he stay at Steel Armor Shelter? Having hesitated for a while, Ha Hao turned his face to the side, deliberately avoid seeing Hossein. Ha Hao thought that he would immediately hear Hossein's screams. But the screams he heard were not from Hossein, but from Liu Feng. Ha Hao quickly turned to see what had happened and couldn't believe his own eyes. Liu Feng's alpha alloy broadsword was now in Hossein's hand and Liu Feng himself was pinned to the ground with his arm twisted behind himself, screaming while too scared to struggle. Ha Hao did not see how it happened. But others all saw clearly. They were so surprised that they stood there with their mouths wide open. When Liu Feng slashed his broadsword at Hossein, everyone thought Ass Freak was doomed. But as soon as Liu Feng wielded the alpha alloy broadsword, Hossein grabbed his hand and twisted, bringing Liu Feng to his knees. Hossein then knocked his back with a knee and held him down to the floor. No one could believe that Ass Freak would have such fine movements and were all in a daze. There was no sound except for Liu Feng's screams. "What are you doing? Kill this bastard!" "Ouch!" Liu Feng shouted to the onlookers while screaming. Crack! His arm was broken by Hossein before he could even finish the sentence. Covered in cold sweat, Liu Feng was deathly pale. Liu Feng's friends saw this and rushed to Hossein, raising their weapons. Hossein was still holding Liu Feng's alpha alloy broadsword in his hand, and used it to block the first alloy weapon swung at him. To his surprise, the weapon was cut in half by Liu Feng's broadsword instantaneously. This dumbass had a really nice alpha alloy broadsword. It's at least worth 1 or 2 million, Hossein thought and decided not to give it back. In a short while, all the other weapons were cut off by Hossein, and their owners were scared off. No one dared to attack Hossein anymore. Ha Hao was stunned, almost thinking he was in a dream. Liu Feng had a strength rating of 6.7 and a nice weapon. So he enjoyed quite a lot of attention in Steel Armor Shelter. Although Ha Hao had a mutant beast soul weapon, he knew he could not match Liu Feng. All of a sudden, Liu Feng became the one lying on the floor without his weapon, while Hossein became the winner. The change was so drastic that Ha Hao couldn't process it. Hadn't he been isolated by both Qin Shan and Son of Heaven since he entered the shelter? Didn't he fail to hunt even a primitive creature? Didn't he? Ha Hao looked at Hossein blankly, with a variety of complex emotions entangled in his mind. Hossein did not continue the fight with the rest, but went back to take Liu Feng's sheath away, hung the sheath on his own belt, and returned his new broadsword to his new sheath. "The next time you want compensation, just come to me," said Hossein as he strode toward the gate of Steel Armor Shelter. The onlookers all looked at him as if it was the first time they saw him. "Stop!" Someone approached riding a beast soul mount when Hossein was about to enter the gate. It was Luo Tianyang, son of heaven's henchman. Luo, Ass Freak broke my arm and seized my broadsword. You have to avenge me, shouted Liu Feng in delight at the sight of Luo Tianyang. Douchebag. Luo Tianyang first glanced at Liu Feng and then at Hasen. I was wondering who was so daring to hurt my guy. So, it was you, scum. Luo Tianyang took out his alloy whip, and whacked it at Hasen. Hasen paused and wielded his broadsword at the whip. When the two weapons collided, Hasen and Luo Tianyang both shuddered. Luo Tianyang suddenly shouted, "How come you have such strength?" Quote, Luo Tianyang's own strength rating had reached 9.6. Although with this whack he did not use all his strength. Hasen must have had at least an 8.0 rating to be able to block his whip. Which he could not believe.